Hey everyone, today we are taking a look at my Ultramarine Army that I've been building on and off and painting for about 2 years now. So this is all I've got to show for it. It's not a lot, is it really, when you consider that I've just said I've been working on it for 2 years, but it is what it is. I take very, very long breaks. Like when I started, I painted that squad right there, and then I must have had about 6 months break before painting the other two tactical squads and the whatever they am, the flamer dudes. And then I took probably another 6 months break, and then I did those and the dreadnought, and then also I did these at the same time as the dreadnought, basically, except for him because he was done 2 weeks ago with those. And I've just literally finished painting the tank yesterday. So, yeah, on and off, very much an on and off project. I will do things whenever I feel like doing them. I've still got quite a bit to paint. I got another lot of the flying guys who, with the plasma pistols, I have these things, whatever these the heavy duty guys. I got some of them to do. Got the bikes. And currently, I've got the scouts, and yeah, I think they're just called scouts, isn't they? I don't know. Scouts with sniper rifles and scouts with the machine guns, because I haven't got the scouts with the knives. So yeah, you can tell I'm out the loop. I don't know the names of these things, but this is it. This is what I've got done, and I'm quite pleased. It looks nice like this, doesn't it? I'd like to see it when it's all done, when I've fully got all the scouts and the bikes and things done. Because that is it. Then I've not got. It says a lot, but there is a total of 26 models, something like that, I've got left to paint. On a quick little bit of mathematics there, looking at them to the side of me, and that'll probably be it then. Because I don't think I'll be adding to this, or if I do add to this, it might not be for a very long while, because I don't play the game, I just paint things, so I don't have to buy stuff. And the stuff that I do want to buy, I can just buy whenever I feel like it. No, the new box is coming out with the Terminators and Stern Guard, which I really like the look of. I like the look of those, both sets of those. Don't know about the flamer things. Don't think they look very good. But some of the other stuff that I'd really like is I think it's the heavy guys. Is it heavy tactical marines? Something like that. They got bigger guns anyway. And they look nice, but they're like 40 quid for 5. So yeah, that's not happening anytime. Probably anytime ever. But that's it. This is the entire army so far. As I say, I remember when I started these, because I think I still got the video on. I think it was this guy I did, because I was testing out what do they call it? It's not slap chop, it's the other one. I can't remember what it's called. I was testing out a style, and then I decided to do these with a more dry brushing style. So there's a bit of tonal difference, but there's tonal differences on every one of these, and I quite like the tonal differences. So you can tell where I've almost got better with the dry brushing style, and I feel as though it works because some of these wouldn't be uniform in colour, but they wouldn't be uniform in armour, would they? So if we look at this guy, he's quite dark blue, basically. And so it's completely different to say this guy, which is quite light blue. And if we got them together, you could really tell the difference, as you can see. So that one's very much darker than this one. And I think it works because of when I've took so long a break in painting them, the sort of like veteran type troops who probably wouldn't see combat as much, so as their armor's cleaner, and the ones who are always on the front lines would get more dirtier. And when you compare like different styles, so these would see more air usage, so they would have different elements hitting their armor and making them look completely different to the others because of the elements that they would hit. So there is methods to my madness, even though it was purely accidental. I will be honest. But they look fine. I'm especially pleased with the tank that's come out. So if we just get this thing right here up. This is my first Primaris tank. They are still called Primaris, right? I don't know. And you can see I've got the weather effects coming up there. Just a standard bit of... what's that paint called? Monster Brown. Standard bit of Monster Brown coming into the to the weather, because this is a hovercraft, right? So as it would bumble across, it would shoot dirt upwards, and that's what these are here for, I suppose. They're like mud guard type things. Well, that's what I think they're for anyway. And so it would still go through them a little bit, but yeah, like all the undersides here, and I've put a little bit of, you can't see it very well on the camera, but I've put a little bit of dirt. You can see it here better. A little bit of dirt where this would come down and smash into the ground as the troops run out the back. I quite like this. It was very nice to paint, and it didn't take long either, realistically. You got a bit of effects with the purples at the back. I quite like the blues that I use, because I'm using Vallejo blues. Or is it Army Painter blue? I can't remember. I've got them stored anyway, but it's basically 3 types of blues which are uniform throughout the entire army. It's a deep Prussian blue for the main dark blue. Then I use a Viking blue, and then I use a deep sky blue. And you get that effect. You can go as light as you want or as heavy as you want with a deep sky blue. And as I say, that's what I've done with certain elements where I've gone heavier deliberately or accidentally. Happy little accidents, as that bloke says, isn't they, the Yankee bloke who used to paint stuff. We never had him over here, so it's completely different. We had people like Neil Buchanan and others that you don't talk about that much because they got done for things they shouldn't. Well, that's who we had growing up. We don't talk about those. Neil Buchanan's fine though. Heart Attack. That was what it used to be called. It was brilliant. And yeah, I think it works on vehicles. I think I've shown that, because this is all dry brushed, just spray black, then doing my three dry brushes for this vehicle and that vehicle. So it shows that it will work for vehicles. Will work for infantry. And I like it. This model I wish would have come out better. So this is my... I can't remember his name. It was me kit bash anyway. I remember some YouTuber, some big YouTuber, did this exact same kit bash around about the same time as I did mine. When I did a video on it. A video I took down. I think it's down anyway. But yeah, he did it around about the same time. Like, I think it was like about 2 or 3 days. And yeah, I kept getting a lot of stick for that, because people thought I was copying, even though I didn't. I just saw the design of the model and was like, yeah, that'd look really badass with an hammer on it, you know what I mean? Looked like a proper badass. And some of the swords, I've decided to go different. So I've tried different things here and there. So this is my Jedi type sword. As you can see, there's a red, and then a light red, and then a lighter red, an orange, and then a white. So it's basically like a Jedi power weapon. We got my standard power weapon here, which I used to do years and years and years ago, which is the different tonal differences. This one here, I basically did silver and then used a orange contrast paint to get that brass effect, and I thought it's fine. Some of the swords it works better on. So as you can see there, it looks a lot better with some of the swords than it ever does the hammer. But then we got like the guy here with the purple. So he's basically like the Samuel L. Jackson of the group. And I quite like it. I like the white tone as well. So as you can see here, this is my medic. I can't remember the names. But my medic dry brush, and even that one's dry brushed there as well. This is actually quite hard to do. To get the two tones, variations of the dry brush. I do want to show the black, because this is dry brushed as well here. My different shade of black. A lot of dust on this one because this one's been stuck in the elements, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's a blue-grey, I want to say, because I spray it black, and then it's like a blue-grey and then a lighter grey. And there's only, again, the two with that one. And then I like the brown for the cloaks. I feel as though the brown with the cloaks goes well with the black. It has like a nice little bit of contrast there. Makes them look very grimdark, I suppose. But that's it. As I say, I quite like how they have come out. I would like to make the Tactical Marines 10-man eventually, because they're only 5-man at the moment. And I have got a lot of power fist action going on because I just like power fists. Can you blame me? Power fists are great. They're busting. And I just love them. So, yeah. I would like to add little bits here and there. I haven't got the money to dedicate to it, so I'm just going to paint what I've got for now. And I'm probably waiting for the next magazine to come out. So the vast majority of this was Conquest magazine. Was it Conquest? And then there was parts of it from the second magazine I picked and chose. But the vast majority is Conquest. And Conquest, you remember this guy? This guy started off this channel, basically. Did anyone remember that video? Yeah, when I basically exposed them for terrible decisions with the cheaper plastic that they were using, and then I got into trouble with Hatchet Partworks. I remember actually speaking to the bloke who, I don't know if he ran Hatchet Partworks, but he was one of the ones who was responsible for the Conquest magazine at the time. And I remember that discussion over the phone. Yeah, it was brilliant. Brilliant discussion. When he was actually breaking down to me how they were actually being made in Nottingham and using the Games Workshop molds and everything and all the chemicals and stuff they were using. Yeah, it was an interesting conversation to have at the time, especially since I think I only had like about 200 or 300 subscribers at the time. And that video skyrocketed. That was my most watched video on my channel for a very, very, very long time. I mean, that had like 16,000 views on its own. It's gone now. The video's gone. I deleted it a long time ago because all the drama and everything soon disappeared. But yeah, I remember that drama, that drama that happened, because I used to get a Conquest book and then I'd go home, do the video on the Conquest book, and then build the model straight away. And there were so many issues with that model. That model right there. Yeah, so many. It wasn't, in fact, this one, was it? This was the replacement that they sent me. This is a replacement model that they sent me because the other one broke that I'd bought. So this was the replacement. Yeah. Old times. Old times. That's got to be 6 years ago, hasn't it? Jesus Christ. It's got to be. But that's it. Thanks for listening. You've probably switched off a long time ago. But there's the army. Tatty bye.